If you've ever found yourself completely unable to leave a relationship that you know is hurting you, unable to stop thinking about someone who's treated you badly, unable to explain to the people who love you why you just can't walk away, what you may be experiencing has a clinical name. It's called a trauma bond, and today we're going to talk about exactly what that means. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist based in California, and in this video, I'm covering what trauma bonding actually is from a clinical perspective, 5 signs that you may be experiencing it right now, and most importantly, what you can do about it. A quick note before we begin. Everything I share here is for educational purposes only. I'm a licensed therapist, but I'm not your therapist, and this is not therapy. If you are in a situation that feels dangerous or overwhelming, please reach out to a licensed professional who can support you directly. There is a number in the description below. Let's get into it. First, what is a trauma bond and where does the term actually come from? Trauma bonding was first described by researcher Patrick Carnes to explain the powerful emotional attachment that can develop between a person and their abuser. It is not a character flaw, it is not a weakness, it is a neurological and psychological response to a very specific pattern of abuse. That pattern is called intermittent reinforcement, and it is one of the most powerful behavioral conditioning mechanisms that exists in human psychology. Here's how it works. In a trauma-bonded relationship, the abusive person alternates unpredictably between kindness and cruelty, affection and withdrawal, warmth and punishment. That unpredictability causes your brain to become hypervigilant, constantly scanning for signals of which version of this person is coming next. And when the good version appears, your brain releases a flood of dopamine, the same reward chemical involved in addiction. This is why trauma bonds feel so much like addiction, because neurologically, they operate on very similar pathways. You are not crazy. You are not weak. Your brain is responding exactly the way a human brain is designed to respond to that pattern of experience. So how do you know if what you're experiencing is a trauma bond rather than simply a difficult relationship? Well, here are 5 clinical signs. Sign number 1, you keep leaving and going back. You've ended this relationship or tried to end it multiple times. You know logically that it is not good for you, but something pulls you back every single time. A text, a phone call, a moment of kindness from them, or simply an overwhelming feeling of missing them that you cannot explain or override. This cycle of leaving and returning is one of the clearest behavioral indicators of a trauma bond. Sign number 2. You find yourself defending them to everyone around you. The people who love you, your friends, your family, they've expressed concern about this relationship. And instead of hearing them, you find yourself explaining, minimizing, or defending the other person's behavior. You might say things like, they've been going through a lot lately, or you don't understand them the way I do, or it's not always like that with us. Protecting your abuser from outside perception while excusing behavior that you would never accept from anyone else is a hallmark sign. Sign number 3, your sense of self has slowly disappeared. You used to have opinions, interests, friendships, and a sense of who you were. Over time, in this relationship, those things have quietly faded. Your world has shrunk to revolve almost entirely around this one person, their moods, their needs, their approval or disapproval of you. This erosion of self is both a symptom and a consequence of trauma bonding. If any of these signs are resonating with you, drop a number in the comments, 1 through 5, for which sign hits closest to home. You don't have to share any details, just knowing that you are not alone matters. Sign number 4, you feel more anxiety when things are good than when things are bad. This one surprises people. In a trauma-bonded relationship, the calm, peaceful moments actually trigger anxiety rather than relief, because your nervous system has been so conditioned to expect the next blow that when things are quiet, you spend that time waiting for it. You cannot relax into the good moments because part of you is always bracing for when they will end. That is called hypervigilance, a recognized trauma response, and it is your nervous system telling you something important. Sign number 5. The thought of leaving feels more terrifying than the thought of staying. Even when you can clearly see that this relationship is harming you, even when the evidence is undeniable, the prospect of actually leaving and building a life without this person feels impossible. Not difficult, impossible. That specific terror where leaving feels more dangerous to your survival than staying is one of the most telling signs of a deeply established trauma bond. So, what do you actually do if you recognize yourself in any of those 5 signs? First, name it. What you just did by watching this video and recognizing your experience is genuinely significant. Trauma bonds thrive in confusion and self-blame. Naming what is actually happening begins to dissolve both of those. Second, understand that willpower alone is almost never enough to break a trauma bond. This is not a motivation problem. This is a neurological pattern that was built over time through repeated experience, and it requires time and support to rewire. Being hard on yourself for not being able to just walk away is like being angry at yourself for being unable to stop a habit cold turkey with no support. Third, seek support. Whether that's with a licensed therapist, a support group, or simply rebuilding connections with other people, that's a great place to start. Isolation is the environment that trauma bonds need to survive. Connection weakens trauma bonds. If you're ready to talk to a therapist, I have left links in the description below to resources that can help you find the right support. You don't have to figure this out alone. And if this video resonated with you, if you found yourself nodding along or finally feeling like someone put words to something that you've been living, please subscribe. Because every week I will bring the same clinical perspective to the topics that actually affect your life. I'll see you in the next one.